Also, neues Spiel. Ich spiele zum ersten Mal MGS, ist nicht ganz richtig. Mir gefällt MGS 1, mir gefällt MGS 2, MGS 3 kenne ich nicht. Ich sag mal, mir gefällt das und wir spielen auf normal. Let's go.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War. After the end of World War II, the world was split into two,
Das sollte gehen.
East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Konami präsentiert. Alter, wieso ist das denn so laut? Eia.
Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Bestes. Das Spiel spielt ja, glaube ich, vor dem Start von 1 überhaupt. Also es müsste mitunter so der erste Teil sein.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Okay. Ist in Ordnung. Oh, warte mal. Ich habe noch gar nicht eingestellt, dass wir MGS3 spielen. Wir müssen noch auf das checken. Das muss ich gleich ändern.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Ihr wollt in 6 Minuten den Job aufstarten. Warum öffnet ihr es jetzt? Das ist gut.
Sunrise.
Okay, Solid Snake Eater schon auf dem Helm. Wie geil.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
Was soll ich denn sagen? Ich weiß, ich spiele
Status
es ab,
okay,
ich ändere es,
all
wenn
green.
wir im Game sind.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Alles klar, what the fuck? Okay, ja, aber ich mache das Spiel gleich leiser. Ich weiß nicht, warum das Spiel so laut ist. Ich habe es
Jack, I've
leise
got some
gestellt.
important news.
Naja.
The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, A certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov, isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The president demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Okay. Also fassen wir zusammen. Krieg-Gelaber interessiert mich absolut rein gar nicht. Aber ich glaube, ich verstehe so halbwegs so ganz gut. Auch wenn die sich bestimmt 50% des Gelaberten hätten streichen können. Und man hätte immer noch alles Richtige verstanden. Aber ist okay. Ist okay. Nervt mich ruhig mit irgendwelchen Scheiß.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
So. Wir sind Jack. Metal Gear Solid 2 all over again. Scheinbar ist er im zweiten Teil schon sehr, sehr alt gewesen. Eieiei, okay. Also, wir machen das Spiel jetzt noch ein bisschen... Also, was ich sagen wollte, man hat mich halt nur nicht gehört, wie immer, ne? Ist, mich interessiert Kriegsgelaber absolut rein gar nicht. Es könnte mich kaum weniger interessieren als irgend so ein Kriegsgefasel, aber ich glaube, ich habe ungefähr verstanden, worum es wahrscheinlich geht. Und ja, gut, wir sind im Game. Jetzt schauen wir uns mal um. Ein paar Mods haben wir drin. Hat der Hazuhaki mir geschickt. Und endlich mal eine andere Kameraperspektive, ey. Jesus Christ. So, wo lang gehen wir denn? Das ist so... Das ist... Okay.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on.
Naked
You're not to
Snake?
mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. Oh, and Snake,
Yeah,
the crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
good idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin.
Aha, okay. Time for the skin... For the snake to shed its skin. Da sind wir. Da ist er, Snake. Der richtige, keine komische Kopie. Das ist sehr melodramatisch, mein Lieber.
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in
Was?
front of a tree that's
Ich kann
covered in
Baumbäume
ivy and
erklettern?
press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85.
Natürlich, wie
I'll
immer.
give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Rucksack, Backpack. Backpack, Rucksack. Yeah! Okay, alles klar. Dann werden wir uns gleich mal unseren Rucksack besorgen. Aber ich muss vorher noch eine Sache erledigen hier. Wir spielen nicht Just Chatting. So. Jetzt spielen wir wirklich Metal Gear Solid 3. Let's go. Okay. Also, jetzt holen wir uns erstmal unseren Rucksack zurück. Nahrung. Calorie Might. Noch nicht gegessen. Geschmack unbekannt. Wenn ich den jetzt esse, steht dann da unten, wie der schmeckt. Steht dann da, schmeckt wie Scheiße. Oder wie? Na egal, wir... Let's go. Oh. Lab Med, was ist das? Das ist wahrscheinlich Ration oder wie? Lab Med. Von der UdSSR entwickelt, stellt Leben wieder her. Ja, also statt Ration ist das jetzt die Lebensmedizin. Da steht dann, es schmeckt nach Chris. Das ist ja mal ein ganz anderes Spielgefühl als die ersten Teile hier. Hi, ja.
Snake, where do you think you're going? You can't expect to proceed with the mission without any weapons or equipment. First, you'll need to recover your backpack.
Ach so, okay. Gut, alles klar, tut mir leid. Ich hole mir mein Backpack. Ich mach ja. Okay, an allem, was so aussieht, kann man hochklettern. Das ist wie, als wären wir in Tomb Raider unterwegs. 1 bis 5. Aha. Nice.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In
Was?
the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that
Okay.
list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button.
Die Enter
For
Button.
other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it.
I
Use the
see.
survival viewer backpack.
Yep,
Backpack.
that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
Schon wieder die Tranquilizer
Been
Gun?
fitted
Meine
with its own
Fresse.
suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire.
Was?
Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Eine.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep
What the
it in
fuck?
mind. You said
Okay,
this
alles
was a
klar.
solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
Och nee.
Real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance.
Nee, ich spiele auf
The first
Standard.
member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's
schon hot,
right.
sagt
It
er.
also
Oh mein
reports the
Gott.
state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack,
Holy
is
shit.
that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
Nee.
it's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
Was?
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Oh mein
Really?
Gott.
Well, I don't know anything about you.
Holy fuck.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit.
Okay,
Spirit
alles
and
klar.
body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No,
Es
it
ist wie
has
so,
nothing to do
als
with
wäre das
you.
deine Mutter. Warum
I
hast du mich
already told you,
verlassen,
Jack.
Mama?
I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's
Damn.
not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever.
Es hört sich irgendwie
Once
nicht nach
their
dem Snake
terms
an,
are
den
up,
ich kenne, finde
others will
ich.
take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the
Oi, oi,
way
oi.
a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss
the
put
fuck?
together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
Doch, klar.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Holy shit, okay, alles klar, ich verstehe.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Was wird denn das jetzt? Was machst du da, Snake?
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Okay, alles klar. Okay, schon nice, muss ich zugeben. Ist auf jeden Fall ein interessanter Anfang. Hab mir noch gerade eine Banane geholt und so 2 komische Gummibärchen. Ups, Gummibärchen-Dinger. Wir machen weiter. Also, The Boss ist mehr oder weniger so seine Mutter, Schrägstrich, aber auch, also sie macht auf mich so einen Eindruck, als wäre sie für ihn jemand Wichtiges. Nicht nur Lehrerin, sondern mehr. So. Okay, okay. Mit dem linken Stick kann er automatisch die Waffe ziehen. Hiermit können wir wieder dieses Menü öffnen, wie man es kennt. Richtmikro, Messer. So. Wir können crouchen. Ein Pilz. Wieso sieht der so interagierbar aus? Nee, kann man nicht. Okay. Oh nein, das ist ein Sumpf. Was zur Hölle? Ein Alligator? Wollt ihr mich verarschen? Okay, der schläft. Insektenmittel. Oh hell no, bitch. Du frisst mich nicht. Ah! Oh mein Gott. Junge. Oh, erstmal einen halben Herzinfarkt bekommen. Und gegen mein Mikro gehauen. Oh, so fängt es ja gut an hier. Die haben richtig Bock, mich zu fressen, gell? Schnell durch den Schlamm. Nee, oder? Da sind jetzt noch Wespen drin. Ah! Ich bin schon weg. Ich bin schon weg. Boah, ey. Ich will da noch rüber. Was ist das? SDMK22. Okay, schnell wieder weg. Uff, ey. Keine Ahnung, ob ich mich hier gerade komplett dämlich anstelle. Wahrscheinlich schon. Aber naja. It's my first time. Warte mal, hätte ich nicht eigentlich auch einfach den hier machen können? Das ist ein... Da ist gerade ein Item rausgeploppt. 2 sogar. Okay, damit habe ich überhaupt nicht gerechnet. Ich muss mal hier kurz in den Rucksack gucken. So, was ist MK22? Ist das eine Waffe? Ja, ist es. Was habe ich momentan in Rucksack? Waffe. Das MK22. Also haben wir Munition gefunden. Okay. Und wir haben die Wiederbelebungspille, wir haben die Zigarre, warum auch immer. Wir haben Fernglas, Bewegungsmelder, aktives Sonar, Personenmelder. Insektenmittel. Lebensmedizin, wenn es mir nicht so gut geht. Ich meine, noch geht es mir ganz gut. Mich hat zwar schon ein Krokodil angenagt, aber es ist nur so ein kleiner. Er hat nur so ein bisschen genagt. Er wollte nur so ein bisschen mal reinschnabulieren. Das hat mir jetzt nicht so sehr wehgetan. Also schon, aber... Oh, hell no, bitch! Warte mal, wie ging das nochmal? Messer. What the fuck? Könntest du einfach mal aufstehen jetzt? R, Schlange, I guess, warte, Nahrung. Wir haben Calamite, wir haben Hornissennest. Nest baltischer Hornissen, noch nicht gegessen, Geschmack unbekannt. Netzpython. Oh, die ist aber süß. Herzinfarkt finde ich gut. Okay. Ich muss mich hier richtig umgucken, sag mal. Das Spiel belohnt ja richtig, wenn man richtig aufmerksam ist hier. Ich lasse mir Zeit bei dem Game. Bitte keine Schlange? Okay. Ich habe Angst. Warum macht der Monitor... Warum macht der... Ach so. Die dachten, ich würde schneller langlaufen. Ja, ja. Aber so nicht. Dieser Baum sieht schon wieder climbable aus. Ich sag's euch. Ein Russe.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
2
They're
enemy
probably
soldiers.
KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Will ich haben. Bitte.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law.
RB gedrückt halten, wenn das
Can't
Logo
let the Kremlin
erscheint.
find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform
Was?
option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint.
Was?
Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed.
Ach du Scheiße.
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Ach du Scheiße. Okay, ich habe nur 15%. Das ist nicht gut. Das ist nicht gut. Tarnung, Bemalung, Wald. Ist schon mal hilfreich. Schwarz ist nicht so hilfreich. Splitter auch nicht. Maske. Könnte man auch gerade minus 100 draus machen. Machen wir Wald. So. Uniform. Nackt. Olivgrün hilft uns nicht. Tigerstreifen ist besser. Blattmuster ist noch besser. Rinde ist für'n Arsch. Kästchenmuster. Minus 15. Oh Gott, oh Gott. Okay, wir haben 50%. Passt. Also was heißt passt, ne? Warte, wir müssen das Messer mal wegstecken hier. Er kommt näher, das geht so nicht. Hier ist ein Pilz, kann ich den aufheben? Hallo. Och, du bist schon reingekommen, ich hab's gar nicht gemerkt. Tarnung ändert sich ständig, I see. Was ist da im... Oh Gott. Oh Gott, schnell in den Baum. Oh, okay.
Nobody here.
Genau, du Kleines. Du kannst mich gar... Hier ist niemand. Hilfe.
Nobody here.
Kann ich den mit... Also ich darf ja nicht in den Combat, ne? Aber theoretisch habe ich ja eine Tranquilizer Gun. Okay, ich bin durch. Scheiße, lauter Vögel. Ein Baum zum Hochklettern. Hoch da. Ne. Das ist einfach wie die alten Tomb Raider Spiele. Ich liebe es. Oh. Nein, hol die Früchte, die da offensichtlich oben hängen. Warte. Das muss doch gehen. Das ist... Nein, hoch da. Du willst mich aber verarschen. Nein, jetzt hör doch auf. Pflück die Scheiße. Ich schieß da gleich drauf. Das muss ja gehen, oder? Man kann da... Ich schieße da jetzt drauf. Ist mir egal. Was hab ich gesagt? Was hab ich gesagt? Was hab ich gesagt? Und wir müssen uns auch nochmal umtarnen hier. Nackt. Schlecht. Rinde. Ja, ich bin auf dem Baum, also ich glaube, man kann mich jetzt in jeder Art und Weise sehen. Warte mal, kann ich das auch mit dem Messer? So, warte, hier so. Und dann... Also, nee, scheint so, als müsste ich drauf schießen. Oder irre ich mich hier? Weißt du was, dann schieße ich halt weiter drauf. Ist mir egal. Ich brauche noch eine Frucht. Eine nehme ich mir noch mit. So. Obst. Oh shit. Ich hab Angst.
No one here after all.
Was ist da vor mir? Was kreucht und fleucht hier rum? Dreh dich um. Oh, shit. Oh, eine Schlange. Hab sie. So, ich sneak mich jetzt. Ich bin 60%. Schnell hier in den Baum. Was ist hier? MK22 Munition. Yes. Aber ich soll doch eh nicht schießen. Jetzt, Junge, ey. Ich dachte... Was ist denn das? Was zur Hölle steht da auf dem Baum? Kann mir jemand sagen, was das da oben soll? Okay. Soll ich da auf das Ding mal schießen? Lass mal machen. Der macht ja lauter Geräusche. Mhm. I must be seeing things as well. Ach du Scheiße. Kerotan-Figuren. Ja, ich bin schockiert, was das für Viecher sein sollen, ne? Schnell mal in die Tarnung. Uniform. Schwarz. 75. Rinde. Wir sind kurz mal schwarz angezogen. Jetzt müssen wir uns wieder umziehen. Hätte ich mir auch sparen können eigentlich. Wobei schwarz noch in Ordnung geht. Tarnung, Bemalung, schwarz. Nee. Okay, passt. Ihr müsst euch vorstellen, der kriecht da im Gras. Und random, wenn er seine Bemalung umändern muss, muss er erstmal schnell sich nochmal anmalen. Oh Gott. Einmal durch den Baum. Infrarotsichtgerät. Ja, ja. Junge, wir sind hier nicht bei Gothic 3. Ich erinnere mich jetzt, das Abschminken beim Bund damals war schöne Fettfarbe. Oh. Oh Gott. Ich habe mich hier richtig schön in die... Wieso? -5? 35? 20. Okay. Muss ich auf den Baum da?
Huh? Who was that?
Ha! Uff, das war knapp. Bin ich eigentlich richtig? Habe ich eine Karte? Da unten ist eine Karte. Ich sehe es gerade. So. Wohin soll ich? Wohin will ich? Was ist der Beginn? Wo ist mein Ziel? Was ist mein Ziel? Ich gehe jetzt einfach da lang. Wahrscheinlich bin ich jetzt auch... Warte mal. Ah, da muss ich doch wahrscheinlich... Nee, oder? Ja, okay. Ich muss eigentlich bestimmt da hinten lang, gell? Ich bin falsch gelaufen. Aber hier gibt es spezielle Früchte, ha? Aber lohnt sich das, die zu holen? I don't think so.
Who's that? Radio, we need backup.
Oh, ich bin am Arsch. Oha, die sind alle auf mich aufmerksam geworden. Ich habe die Mission eigentlich schon verkackt. Ausweichen. Kann man das überhaupt noch wieder in Ordnung bringen? Was habe ich eigentlich bekommen? Rucksack. Keine Ahnung. Ach, wir können mal bei Nahrung gucken. Netzpython, Golova, Fleisch der Riesenanaconda, Jabloko Moloko. Okay. Jabloko Moloko, Freund. Hilfe. Ignoriert mich bitte. Aha. Ach, jetzt Vorsicht noch. Ach du Scheiße, wir sind so am Arsch. Also ich bin so am Arsch.
Patrol here. We've lost sight of the intruder, going into high alert.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
Who's that?
Ich bin am Arsch. Au! Au! Scheiße. So. Wisst ihr, was wir jetzt machen? Genau. Yalla! So. So. Fertig. Weiter geht's. Das war nicht so gut. Meine Tarnung ist hier unten ganz gut. Uniform. Rinde. Blattmuster. Das Blattmuster ist immer noch am besten. Das war... Ja, was war das? Was war das? Was war das? Was ist los? Da ist noch einer. Look. Warte, wir machen nochmal den hier. Der hebt das Zeug auf. Das ist mein Item. Ich habe auf dich geschossen. Schlaf ein jetzt. Ach du Scheiße. So, mir geht's gut. Der dritte Teil bekommt bald sein Remake. Ja, ich weiß. Was heißt bald? Die sind momentan dabei. Also einen komplett nicht schießen. Das klappt nicht. Willst du mich verarschen? Oh Gott, das ist voll die Hängebrücke. Junge! Gott.
What's wrong?
Boah, Alter. Okay. So. Messer. Wusste ich's doch. Wusste ich's doch, dass ich die aufheben kann. Hier. Ein Pilz. Nehmen wir uns den auch noch gerade mit. Moment. Yes. Ich muss hier schnell. Ich hoffe, die schlafen eine Weile. So. Schnell weiter. Tarnung. Uniform. Rinde. Warte mal. Tigerstreifen. So. Und Rucksack. Nee, Nahrung. Entschuldigung. Sibirischer Schopftintling. Noch nicht gegessen. Essen. Schmeckte nicht. Okay. Ja. Ja, Blocko Moloko kennen wir auf jeden Fall. Riesenanaconda, weiß ich jetzt nicht. Weiter geht's.